Known as Dharmaraj, Yudhishthira was not just a king, he was the embodiment of Dharma itself. From the moment of his birth, he was destined to uphold righteousness and justice, yet his journey was one marked with profound emotional struggle. The title, Dharmaraj, was not just a symbol of his lineage or a crown placed upon his head. It was a testament to the immense burden he bore as the upholder of truth, justice, and morality. The Mahabharata tells us that Yudhishthira was born from Kunti's prayer to Lord Yam, the god of death and dharma. From his earliest days, he was taught the principles of righteousness by his great teachers and sages, such as Kripacharya and Dronacharya. His wisdom in discerning right from wrong was evident even in his childhood, and it was this quality that made him the most suitable heir to the throne of Hastinapura. Yudhishthira's first major test came not on the battlefield, but in the court of Hastinapura. The game of dice, an event that would forever haunt Yudhishthira, was a direct challenge to his principles of dharma. Under the manipulation of Shakuni, Yudhishthira lost not only his kingdom but also his own brothers and Draupadi. The scriptures describe Yudhishthira's deep inner turmoil during this moment. Bound by his word and his adherence to Kshatriya code, he could not refuse the game. And yet, his failure to stop the humiliation of Draupadi and the loss of his kingdom weighed heavily on his conscience. In the Sabha Parva of the Mahabharata, it is said that Yudhishthira's heart trembled like a leaf in the wind, for he knew that the game had brought ruin to all that he held dear. This event would mark the beginning of Yudhishthira's long journey into understanding the complexities of dharma, how it is not always clear, not always just a single path. Despite being a man of peace, Yudhishthira was thrust into the horrors of war. Kurukshetra was not a battle he wanted, but a war he had to fight. Krishna's counsel during the Bhagavad Gita was meant for Arjuna, but the weight of Krishna's words on duty and righteousness also shaped Yudhishthira's resolve. Yudhishthira often questioned whether fighting was the right path. The Mahabharata describes how he would turn to Krishna in moments of doubt, seeking guidance on how dharma could be upheld in the face of such brutal violence. In the Udyog Parva, Yudhishthira confesses his sorrow to Krishna, saying, "My heart bleeds, for I know not how righteousness may survive this war of brothers." But Krishna reminded him that even in war, dharma must be upheld, for justice and truth must prevail over adharma. While Yudhishthira was known for his adherence to dharma, his greatest emotional strength lay in his deep love and care for his brothers. Throughout the war, Yudhishthira had to watch as his beloved brothers fought with their lives at stake. He bore the weight of each of their struggles, feeling responsible for leading them into the battlefield. The death of Abhimanyu, the son of Arjuna, was a blow that tore through the hearts of the Pandavas. Arjuna, consumed with grief, vowed vengeance, but it was Yudhishthira who remained composed. He understood the emotional depth of this loss and sought to console his brother, even as his own heart shattered. This is a true testament to Yudhishthira's strength. Though grief-stricken, he put his duty as the eldest brother above his own pain. In the Drona Parva, it is written, Yudhishthira, despite his grief for Abhimanyu, bore the weight of his brother's anguish as his own, for he could not falter as their guide. One of the most emotionally charged moments for Yudhishthira came with the revelation of Karna's true identity. After Karna's death at the hands of Arjuna, Yudhishthira was informed that Karna was, in fact, his elder brother, the firstborn son of Kunti. The guilt that flooded Yudhishthira's heart was unimaginable. He realized that all this time, he had fought against his own brother, unaware of the blood bond they shared. Karna, the man whose virtues Yudhishthira had often admired in secret, was none other than his sibling. In the Shalya Parva, Yudhishthira laments, "Had I known of his birth, I would have never raised a weapon against him. My heart, now burdened with his blood, will never find peace." This revelation tore at Yudhishthira's very soul, adding yet another layer to the emotional burden he carried. But even in this moment of profound sorrow, Yudhishthira continued to fulfill his duty as the leader of the Pandavas. When the war finally ended and victory was claimed, it was Yudhishthira who ascended the throne as Dharmaraj. But what should have been a moment of triumph felt like a hollow victory. For Yudhishthira, the price of righteousness was too great. The Mahabharata describes how Yudhishthira, upon winning the war, was filled with immense guilt. The lives lost, the blood spilled, it all weighed heavily on his soul. He questioned whether the victory was worth the devastation, whether Dharma had truly been served. In the Saptika Parva, Yudhishthira declares, "Victory tastes like ash, for in its pursuit, I have lost my brothers, my friends, and my peace." Yudhishthira's legacy as Dharmaraj was not defined by the throne he won, but by the strength he showed in carrying the burden of righteousness. His silent strength lay in his ability to endure the emotional turmoil of war, to lead his brothers through unimaginable grief, and to uphold Dharma even when his own heart was shattered. In the end, Yudhishthira's story is a reminder that true strength is not just in wielding a sword, it is in the courage to carry the weight of the world with compassion, wisdom, and resilience. If you found Yudhishthira's journey of silent strength and sacrifice inspiring, don't forget to like this video, share it with others who love these timeless stories, and subscribe to our channel for more in-depth explorations of the greatest epics. Join us as we uncover the emotions, wisdom, and legacies of these extraordinary characters from ancient texts. Thank you for watching Vibes of Divinity.